Thank you for joining us for this episode of All About PR. I'm your host, Dr J.J. Rattan. If you're tuning in for the first time, on this podcast, we speak to experts from the world of PR and communication from across the world and bring you interesting conversations from it. Today, we speak about a very important aspect of leadership, that is communication. Many a time, this crucial skill can be the ace, the edge, or the one key differentiating factor that sets you on a growth trajectory right up to the top. And to speak about this, we have with us Mr. G S Rattan, who has published his first book, 10 Steps to the Boardroom, after nearly 5 decades of experience in the corporate and education world. He joins us on this episode to stress upon the need for leaders to develop and work upon their communication skills. A little more about him before we add him on. He is an experienced leader with a vast experience in steering techno-commercial functions in world-class engineering companies. The former CEO of Tata Bearings continued to teach after retirement. The Punjab Engineering College graduate from Chandigarh is now on a sabbatical as he pens down his first book and starts a new journey at the age of 74 with renewed enthusiasm. It is day one again for him. With an overall experience of 50 years, he earned the moniker of creative strategist from his peers. As a long-standing member of the Tata Family, he had the opportunity to work and learn from industry leaders like Dr J.J. Irani, Mr B, Muthuraman, who inspired him to be more, achieve more, and do more. During his 31-year tenure with the Tata Family, the departments under his care won several awards and appreciation of all seniors. A company man through and through, he rose through the ranks to head the company with unanimous support of his colleagues and seniors. This book starts his third innings in life with equal amount of zest as he shares his knowledge with the next generation of corporate stars. An easy read, the book published by Penguin captures lessons with stories from his own life and also adds a worksheet after each chapter, helping one plan their career at the stage they are. And yes, he lays a lot of importance on communication skills and leadership. And we from the PR world love that. So let's add him on. Thank you, Mr. Rattan. Thank you for coming on our podcast today.
Thanks for calling me for the podcast. Let me admit, this is my first recording a podcast.
It should be interesting. So keeping the theme intact of the essence of the book, 10 Steps to the Boardroom, our podcast today will also address this conversation in 10 questions. So let's start.
Yeah.
And that's not the first question. So the first question, what is the book about? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. The book 10 Steps to the Boardroom, as the name implies, talks about my views of looking at the steps to be taken by any aspiring young executive or middle management staff to become the top man in the organization. I've shared my experiences of the steps to be taken on the road to the success. I'm sure every CEO will have his own version, his or her success secret. But this book basically explains the steps I took to be there where I wanted to be. The book inspires you to move ahead to the next step and also gives you a checklist of sorts you to chart your own journey.
And I do believe this is your first book and this is the first book that you've authored.
Yeah, agreed.
What has been the author journey like so far?
Interesting. My journey has been very exciting, full of thrills. It has its ups and downs, but it has been an exciting phase for me. I always wanted to author a book, but never found the time and energy or discipline to do so. Who knew I would do that at post 70 years?
Right.
There I am. And I was a good writer, or thought I was. Still my editor decided to rewrite my paras, to write as an individual or as a professional, to that of an author, so that it is relevant to a wider audience. Was an eye-opener for me also. You learn something new every day. The initial feedback I have received has been very encouraging, and I'm glad the book has been able to help a lot of people.
Awesome. It just goes to show you're never too old to start a new journey.
I agree.
So who should be reading your book?
This book is a must read by all aspiring, ambitious and dreamers who want to be at the zenith of corporate world. Not just that, it will also help them to realize the pain and pleasure of failure and success, respectively, as felt by the sincere, hardworking and knowledgeable executive. While all love the glory of success, a lot of hard work goes to create that glory.
Right.
It will help them basically refine their own path and those they identify from their team and put them on the fast track of growth. The book can be taken up as a manual of success and to be followed in the true spirit of its intent of writing.
Brilliant. I'm sure it is going to help a lot of young executives create a very clear path for their career. What is intriguing for me is you've often mentioned in the book that communication is one of the key skills for success at any stage. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm convinced that effective communication is one of the most important tools to be used while attempting to climb the ladder of success. If one is not able to express his or her achievements or even the cause of failure in the proper perspective, then you will always be most misunderstood person in the organization. No one would know what is playing in your mind. Just go out and express, written or verbal, to let the world know your worth. I learned it hard way, but there is no reason for others to go through the same rough path. All good leaders, if you note, are great communicators. What is stopping you from being one? In today's fast-paced world of quick communication, you only have one chance to get it right. So saddle up and get ready. I've seen many successful executives in my career who could rise to the ladder faster, and they were better communicators than the most knowledgeable ones. In my opinion, I feel the art of imparting good communication skills should be imbibed in young students and the young executive at the start, helping them get a running start. After all, what good is an idea if you cannot explain it well enough to inspire someone? Absolutely. So, in your career, how and when did you realize that this is one of the possible golden keys to success? Needless to say, after losing many golden opportunities where I was not able to articulate my idea into words that were convincing enough for my seniors to take note and get a buy into the idea. A bitter pill to swallow it was, but I worked on it, got better with time, practiced. I never lost an opportunity to work on my communication. It was the smartest decision I took in my life. Absolutely. I think you're right when you mention that a lot of the good leaders are great communicators. So while achieving success is an interesting journey, keeping that success is equally a big task. What would your advice be for the same? Very important. But there are many rules you can swear by. I have a shorter list that I quote in my book, and they have held me in good stead. I do advise everyone to print and post this on a desktop when you reach your dream designation. Number one, don't be petty and vindictive. Two, take up a meritocratic approach. Reprimand in private and praise in public. Four, keep your word. Five, your communication skills matter. Six, lead by example. Don't let success or failure get to you. 8, express gratitude and maintain a positive attitude. 9, discipline is essential to your success. And 10, celebrate all the victories. Absolutely. More people took this list and printed it out on their desk. It would help them communicate so much more better with different people, different segments within their own teams. But I was personally very delighted to see that you mentioned PR, public relations, as one of the secret sauces that is essential to create a winning career. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Yes, I strongly believe, along with many other qualities required to succeed in life, PR plays an equally important role to keep you in the circulation in the corporate world. I think it's one of the best kept secrets, I would say. How you build your personal reputation and image is key to your next career move and or promotion. One needs to treat one's own self as a brand. How would you handle it then? Internal, external PR both come in essential. However, I always advise young executives to temper it with a strong thread of authenticity. Don't create an image that you are unable to live up to or is untrue. Use the strong tool well and build on what you are as an individual. I was put on to this secret a little later in my career by a well-wishing mentor, and it changed my growth graph and put me on the fast track. No reason for you to not to start the day one. Absolutely. And you very lightly said while PR is a very strong tool, authenticity makes a huge difference in how you utilize it. But can you share an anecdote in your life when communication skills saved the day for you? I recall an incident when the company had a serious difference of opinion on the roles of certain employees in the recognized employee union. The matter became very serious and there were talks of sacking and union threatening to go on strike. I was then a department manager and the employees were from my section. Someone suggested that on this issue, we must call HOD, understand the technical complexity of the whole incident. I was called. I made a presentation to all with the help of sketches and elaborate description. Using my all-out communication and articulation skill, explained to the representatives of both the side why the serious action took place on the machine, which was not a fatal but caused a serious breakdown in the supply chain. By confident explanation, not favoring management or the union brought both the sides to cool down, see the issue in total perspective. The matter ended amicably, and you admit that after this incident, I became a favored manager for both the groups.
You absolutely had to be. Without you, this wouldn't have gotten sorted out.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, in your experience, how has this advice on communication and PR skills gone down with managers at various levels?
The advice on communication and honing up of peer skill has mixed reaction from the managers at various levels. The more flexible and keen learners appreciated this and started working on this skill, but some strong-headed colleagues who were convinced that it's a sheer wastage of time and efforts. These colleagues believe that the work which will get noticed and they will get noticed by the management, and others believe it's only the nepotism which helps people to grow and get cream posting. But majority of managers got gradually convinced that they don't wake up in time to project themselves, they will be left behind in the race.
Absolutely. The sooner they start, the better it is for them, and the faster they will be able to go up the ladder.
Correct.
What would your advice be to young managers wanting to move to the next level?
It's important. I suggest that take care of your career progression very seriously in your life. Opportunity to climb up do not come across very frequently. So prepare yourself well in advance to offer yourself as a prospective candidate to fill up the position. Be a dreamer, planner, a strategist, and go-getter to succeed.
Brilliant. And what would that one mantra be that you live your life by?
My one mool mantra of my life has been that there is no shortcut to success. One must work hard, work smart, contribute for the growth of the organization, and keep acquiring new learning and skills to survive and enhance your chances of going up the successive ladder. Pay me dividends. I'm sure it will help others too. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I'm sure many a young executive there will learn a lot from this book. Guys, if you're listening to this podcast, please go out and pick up the book 10 Steps to the Boardroom on Amazon and have a brilliant read. Use this manual that has been created for you by Mr. G S Rattan. That will help you create a very clear path towards growth. Thank you so much, Mr. Rattan, for coming on the podcast again today. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So that was Mr. G S Rattan talking to us about how communication skills and PR can make all the difference for your climb to the top. The book is available on Amazon, so you can look it up today. We wish him all the very best for his new innings and look forward to his next book. See you in the next episode.